I'm going to need you today, Ryan. I need you every day, Ryan. But I need you today. I'm not going to talk about them not playing in the preseason anymore. You know, it's tough. We do this show. I like doing this show because it's stuff that I want to talk about because I feel like that's what you want to talk about, right? I always frame it as, what does Cleveland want to talk about? Guards! All right, nice job there. You get out of the preseason, mostly healthy. We got the Nick Chubb news this morning. We'll get to that. I've got 15,000 roster predictions, including my own, that I sent out. I've got all that, and I am going to hold myself to this, Ryan. I'm not going to complain about Watson not playing in the preseason because really that's what's on my mind right now. We enter the season. You had your offensive line out there for the most part. You've got some issues. You've got some things. And there's no point in me complaining about it anymore. It's done. It's over. So you got to hold me to that about not complaining that Deshaun Watson didn't play in the preseason. That's over. We're off to the rosters. We're 2 weeks away from the season, a week from Thursday to kick off the 2024 NFL season. We're going to focus on that. So I'm going to ask you today, keep me on the rails with that. We've got plenty of other things to talk about. He didn't play. Just for a second. Bad idea. Bad idea. There was so... Stop.
Just get it out.
I can't. I probably should. I probably should just say, you know what? They had Reek Woolen and Devin Witherspoon out there. It would have been nice for him to go up against some NFL cornerbacks. It would have been nice for this. It would have been nice for that. But you watch how that offensive line played, and you go, okay, he would have been getting hit a little bit. You have concerns on that offensive line. We've got the Andrew Berry interview with the Didi Kinkabala before the game. Maybe some optimism on Conklin and Wills. He didn't play. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not happy about it. Whatever. We're off to the other news. We'll get to the roster. We got guards. We got a fresh week for that damn grid. We'll get to the bracket timeout morning update. It's a beautiful college football week Monday right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Good morning. Happy to have you alongside. The preseason done. Dusted. Here we are. Off to the rosters. Off to getting ready to go for the season. We got a lot to come up with you, not only today, but this week. We got a lot of things in the fire for this week. So we appreciate having you along. Twitter X, at Matt Fontana Show. You can always subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're up on Twitch and Instagram. Just search Matt Fontana Show, and it is all there. So the preseason is done. We've got the Chubb news this morning. We'll get to that in a second. I did want to start by recapping the preseason. And again, not going to talk about it. It's done. Okay, he didn't play. But there are some other things, like that offensive line was in there and looked to struggle a little bit. You know, you had Zinter in there kind of on the other side. You had some guys getting beat. Okay, fine. And that probably leans even more towards Ryan about why they didn't play Deshaun Watson, right? You had 3 or 5 starters in there. Some of them kind of got beat up a little bit. Okay, fine. But you get out of the preseason, and I do think I feel really good about where the Browns are at. You know, again, I've got a lot of questions like people do about Watson and him shaking that rust off. I saw Reflog already muted the word rust for the next couple of weeks. Probably a good idea. And it's, you know, I'm from Brunswick. I don't know what to tell you. Chickens are coming to roost, man. It's going to come week 1. You're going to find out one way or another what Deshaun Watson looks like. And I don't know if games in the preseason or preseason action would help any of that. We go back to what Warren Sharp said to us last week about the meshing of these systems where Stefanski's not really doing exactly what Watson is best at. It's just square peg, round hole type thing. Okay, we'll all figure that out in a couple of weeks. But outside of that, you had some of your starters get in there, which was good. You know, I want to make the blanket statement about preseason that you got out of this pretty healthy because a lot of the injuries that you faced were not preseason injuries, right? Like you knew Nick Chubb, again, on PUP. He's going to miss the first 4 games. We'll get to that. You know, Hines, Dalvin Tomlinson, like you had guys that were hurt, Greg Newsome, before training camp. As far as training camp and preseason, Denzel Ward is probably the biggest one that sustained an injury. And again, that wasn't even a game. That was practice. I mean, am I missing anything else? I mean, again, you had a scary situation with Foreman. You had Pierre Strong. Okay. For the most part, you got out of preseason and the training camp side of things pretty healthy. So I start with that. you didn't have a ton of roster battles, which is great. That's a good sign of a roster. You know who's your players. You know what's going on. So that's just fine. Then you also kind of look at it and you say this, are you well prepared? And that's the final thing that I probably wouldn't check off. But with the other ones, Ryan, I just want to give big thumbs up. I thought this preseason was fine outside of not playing some of the guys. Other than that, I don't have a lot to complain about with preseason. I thought it went just fine.
Yeah, I thought it went fine, too. I think DTR looked really good,
That's
especially last game. That was a good game. Jamari Thrash, a tweet. I think he's looked like the third best wide receiver, quite frankly, since he's been drafted. I know that's not necessarily going to translate to the regular season. We'll see what opportunities he gets. But yeah, as long as no starters got hurt, I can't complain.
You can't. So that's, again, check the box off. It's done. You're ready to go. Now we get down to the roster side of things. And again, I read a lot of these 53-man projections. I put my own out. People are getting on me about Justin Hardy. I think he's making this team. That's just me. And that's where we're talking about special teamers and backup roles. And yeah, like any team, I would say the bottom 10 spots are fluid. And it's a giant chess match. Like, why do you love doing fantasy football? It's because you get to make your roster and you get to change this and put this guy here. Andrew Berry's doing that on the biggest level that there is. And there will probably get some news today. Roster's got to be down by tomorrow. You'll get some news today on guys that are releasing or pup, and you start to frame that picture around some of the injured guys. So let's start with Nick Chubb. And I sent the tweet out this morning. It's how I've been operating a lot of this preseason, right? Or a lot of this offseason, to be honest with you. Anything I get out of Nick Chubb is a bonus. Any little bit that I get out of Nick Chubb is a bonus. We all know the knee injury that he sustained, and I get that we're fans, right? We love Nick Chubb, so you put a lot on him. Oh, he'll come back quick, and he'll be fine. And I go back to a lot of things that Jack Duffin said. When you look at his contract and how that was set up with a lot of incentives, I'm sure he believed that maybe he'd be ready to go for week 1. It is not shocking in the least that he's not ready to go right now. And there's even some reporting out now that he might not be ready to go until late October, some even more time for him to come back. I think it's twofold. The fact that he did not practice at all probably told you exactly what needed to happen. And the Browns look at it to say, that's a boost for us, maybe when we need it. You know, when the season starts, we can live with Jerome Ford. We can live with Deontay Foreman, knowing that a lot of this is going to fall into Deshaun Watson. If you get anything from Nick Chubb, that's a boost. And I also want to talk about the emotional boost that Nick Chubb will bring inevitably when he gets back on the practice field and gets back out there with his teammates. That's something that, listen, you'd like him healthy. We'd like him back out there. Great. But when he does come back, think about the lift that that's going to give this team. And I'm not saying that he's going to come in there and have 27 carries for 170 yards. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. It's just the boost that he will give this team when he comes back. So if he's not fully ready to go, didn't practice, of course they're going to start him on PUP. And it might even be some games beyond that. That's fine. But I just want to caution. Ben Axelrod sent a tweet today that I retweeted, and Ben's right too. Go low. Go low. And it doesn't mean that I don't think Nick Chubb can be productive, and not, again, to the level that he used to be, but just go low, man. What do we do on that ESPN prediction, right? 10 games, 700 yards, 5 touchdowns. Well, that's maybe kind of what we're staring at here. And also, if you can get him back and feel like you might not have, and again, it's so hard because that knee injury was so bad, to say, like, we're going to take the extra time now so you don't have to deal with it later. You know, they hear the flush the injury out, and this isn't something that's going to get worse or be a hindrance moving forward. Flush it out now. You know you're going to start with Watson. Everybody wants to see what Deshaun Watson is going to be. I don't almost need Nick Chubb right now. I'll get him back when he comes back. They'll put the bat signal up. I already see the tweet. I already know what the social media intern's going to send. It'll be a bat light. It'll be Nick. It'll be great. You know it's going to be tugging at my heartstrings. And you'll get him back, week 6 maybe? That would go right in line with what ESPN's talking about. Week 6, 7, get 10 games for the rest of the season with Nick Chubb. So that's the biggest news this morning. And, again, Ryan, I believe in Nick Chubb. I don't want him to ever play football anywhere else. But I'm coming in with anything that he can give me this year is a bonus. I'm operating like he's not going to play at all. I know he eventually will. So when he does, I'll be a happy camper.
Yeah, I'm curious to know if this was truly a decision that came down to the wire of putting him on the pup.
That's a great question.
Was this something that Nick and his team, they truly thought he was going to be able to have a chance to come back week 1 and Kevin was open to it?
Can I give you my take on that?
Yeah.
My idea, my vibe on this, if you will?
Sure.
I would imagine the default was always pup, and he would need to change that opinion. You know what I'm saying?
But to who was that the default? Because remember,
I think the Browns.
Yes,
I think the Browns.
And Jack tweeted out when the Chubb news broke, Jack Duffin, of course, capologist, says with Chubb set to miss at least the first 4 games, he's taken a pay cut of at least $6.5 million on the season from the $12.2 he was due to earn.
Yeah, so it's because Jack's talking a lot about the incentives, and I'm sure there's maybe games or carries or whatever. So I would imagine that they wanted to put that apple in front of Nick to get him to say, hey, try. And if it happens, great. But I always think the default was to keep him on pup. And if something changes, something changes. So at least you always have that base, right? Human beings, you always have some option as your base level. If you're forced to make a decision right now, you're leaning one way or the other. The best example would be if you went to Andrew Berry and said, right now, you have to either cut Deshaun Watson or extend Deshaun Watson, he's leaning one way. Okay, he has to be. And then you just assume that the play and the time will sway you one way or the other. So, Chubb being out, and again, it's not like I'm going to sit here and rip through all 53 guys. I feel okay with the guys that are there. I'm not as down on Jerome Ford as some people are. I like Deontay Foreman. There were some nice runs from Pierre Strong this preseason. Hopefully that rib injury is over that. He'll be ready to go. The other one, and I put Naheem Hines on my roster, but he's been on pup the whole time too. So you wonder about maybe that's another roster spot that's open. And you also still have to go back to Andrew Berry crafting his roster. If he can get an extra spot, that's good. That opens it up maybe for another receiver, maybe for another corner, and then you start talking special teams and all that kind of stuff. Do you craft? Are you good at anything? Like a hobby, like crafting?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Even in school, when you had to do a project and stuff, how were your projects? Are you very artsy?
No, I was never good at it.
Yeah, I sucked. I was terrible at it. Terrible. Never knew how to do anything.
Me neither.
I think probably the crappiest thing I ever made in school, we had to make a replica of DNA, like the helix.
Yes.
And you had to put, dude, mine, not good.
Yeah, I couldn't ever do stuff like that.
The other problem is too, when you were in school and you saw some kid come in with this, Maria McDioramas, careful with that word, you could tell their parents help them. You're like, come on, man. We're in the 8th grade. There is no way you painted that by yourself. And my parents helped me on projects, but I think they had the right mindset. It is your project. You are in school. You need to do it, right? Sometimes you just see the parents. They're usually like, oh, my God, we're going to put this one on display. I go, my ass. I go, their dad made that. Come on. I know that kid. I know the student that they are. No way they made that. Their parents did. Come on. Cheaters. Back to crafting a roster. I'm better at crafting a roster than I would be crafting a diorama. I'll tell you that much.
Me as well.
But as you craft the roster, now you've got this open extra roster spot. And we'll go through some of those. And again, I think there's guys on the outside looking in. You kind of figure it out where it is. And also know rosters change each and every week. And it's going to be this just giant chess match. And I do want to bring some up from Dane Brugler. He had a good tweet. That, I want to find the exact amount here, man. Because we sit here and listen, we all play fantasy football. And we do our betting and all that, and we have fun. There will be 1,200 players cut sometime today and tomorrow. And Dane has a good line here. Some will have another shot, but others, that'll be it. And that sucks. And you could sit there and say that they are already of an elite level that any of us that ever played football never even got close to, right? And there's something to hold on to with that. But it's the dream coming to an end for some guys. And that's sad. And that's, Hard Knocks gives you a little bit of that insight where the coach or the GM says, yeah, man, we can't keep you around, but we'd love to have you back as a coach. And what a gut punch that must be as a 23-year-old kid trying to make it. This is your dream. You think you're on this path and you're applying for jobs next week. It's really sobering. And that's part of the business that sometimes gets lost.
Speaking of Hard Knocks, have you been watching
No.
the Bears?
No.
I watched
What'd you think?
one episode. Better than I thought.
Really? Okay, good.
Better than I thought.
Maybe. All right. You know, I think the nice thing is it's on streaming, so it's like if I really want to go back and binge all of it. Did you see that they're already pissed off about the off-season one? There was a story I read about GMs. They didn't like the Giants off-season one because it was too insightful on the GMs on what they were doing.
Yeah,
Like, we don't like this. We don't like them filming phone calls and around the draft and all that kind of stuff. The hard thing about Hard Knocks for me is I think we got the pinnacle. Not only just because it was the Browns, but even just like the storylines, the production. So it's I have such a high bar that I know it's probably not going to reach it, but that's unfair of me to not give it a shot just because I love the Browns.
So what I would say, I think if you were a big fan of the Browns one, and of course a big reason that
sure.
fans of the Browns one is because it's the Browns.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of similarities to this Bears one, given that, like, for instance, you have a culture changing that supposedly of a team that was pretty bad. He's been pretty bad for about a decade now, and that's the Browns, even longer than that. You have a number one quarterback. You have a coach, and it reminded me like Baker and Hugh. Caleb's obviously better than Baker,
right?
And I think Flus is better than Hugh Jackson.
But it's like, did they have that weird dynamic and that
there's
kind of
not
stuff?
that, but like it was cool seeing DJ Moore. He got like the biggest contract in Bears history.
Mm-hmm.
I like, as much as I don't hate on Caleb, I just hated how much I had to hear about him. It was nauseating. He's gonna be really good.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be good too.
It was good. Better than I thought.
Who plays the Todd Haley role? Like that was the other thing that was so great was you had Haley undercutting
their
Hugh.
GM Ryan Poles also has a lot of personality.
I like him a lot too as a GM. I think he is going to turn the Bears around. I really do.
Yeah, so I thought it was pretty better.
All right, I might give it a shot. I'm still in on Batman, like the animated one. I have one episode to go on that, and then the Penguin starts very soon. So the viewing in the Fontana house. I'll try to carve some time out there for Hard Knocks. That's a lie. I probably won't. I don't know. I just when I have the highest bar, I'll tell you this. I'd rather go back and rewatch the Browns season than probably watch the Bears season that's going on right now. But yeah, I mean it's still a thing. It's still what's going on. So the other thing that was interesting from this weekend was Andrew Berry speaking with Adita Kinkhabala before the game about some of the pup moves. And I want to make sure that I'm not missing any of this because here, all right, Cleveland.com, this is Mary Kay's article, the write-up with it. So he's sitting down talking in the pregame, and he said, first on Watson, had a really strong camp. I think the way we look at the quarterback position, we get a lot of really good live work in training camp at the joint practices. We actually like those settings a little bit better. They're going to tell you that. Because you get the work, it's minimizing the injury. I get all of it. As far as where Watson is, he said, I think we'll be just fine. And again, the general arm soreness thing, I tried to talk myself into he would actually play on Saturday. He didn't. Okay, fine. Now where we're at. Now, talking about Jed Wills and Jack Conklin. The next, 36 hours or however, not even that long until the cut down. You look that up for me around the cut down. I think it's tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Roster cut down the NFL, I think. Pretty sure that's what it is. So now your question is, are you going to get either one of these guys back?
Tomorrow at 4 p.m.
Tomorrow at 4 p.m. Okay. Okay. Just in the games and even against some backups, the offensive line has struggled. It's not been good in practice from the reports I'm getting. From what we see in the games, it's not good either. And I get that you want some quick fix. Well, the answer is Conklin or Wills. And if we can get one of those guys back. If I had to place a bet today, I think Jermaine Ifedi is your starting left tackle week 1 against Micah Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys. Trust me, that gives nobody a sense of optimism right there, okay? But if you can just say, hey, we're not going to put Conklin and Wills on PUP, maybe not, maybe just one of them, there's your Band-Aid. There is your just couple of weeks to get that guy in there to get one of those two guys back. Now, Ryan, I say that to say this. Do you not have an uneasiness that Conklin and Wills have not played, both coming off of injuries? Yes, but also they're better players. They should be giving you what you need. I think my biggest takeaway from the line on Saturday is this. And I was jading over this. That, hey, man, if I can just get 4 out of my 5 guys to be average or above average, that's good. And then you realize you got a weak link. They're going to attack that. And they're going to beat that up. Who did they go after on Saturday? Zach Zinter. And it's not that he didn't necessarily hold up in protection, but it's that they would do games and they'd run twists and they'd run stunts. And Nathan mentioned on the broadcast where he goes, the one that I think Wyatt Teller or either Ethan Posick, whatever, got beat on. And Nathan brought it up. He goes, that's actually on Zinter for not communicating and saying they're coming or they're twisting. Like that, that gets you that worry. Where even if you get your offensive line out there, Bitonio, Posick, Teller, and DeJuan Jones, you'd be like, all right, well, we'll just deal with the Fetty. Man, they're going to attack that. And that changes so much of what you want to do on offense. So now my attention has turned completely to, are we going to get Conklin or Wills back for week 1? Here's what Barry said to Aditi on Saturday from Mary Kay on Cleveland.com. From Barry. I'll be the first to admit, you always want to see as many of your players on the field as possible, but you realize the injuries are part of the sport. We feel good about how the group is coming along. We do expect some of our guys to come back over the next week or 2. And quite honestly, it's been good for young players like Zinter or Javion Cohen, who's got a lot of reps, to get the extra reps. And I think that was it, right? The line about you feel good about some of your guys coming back over the next couple of weeks. As we're starved for information, what are we going to do? We're going to grab onto that, and you assume that either Conklin or Wills would be back over the next couple of weeks. I thought about this question. Who would you rather have back? Is the answer very easily Jed Wills? Because you just slide him into left tackle, you keep DeJuan Jones at right tackle. The twist is, it sounds like he's further away maybe than Conklin. I don't know. And this could have, again, been maybe the plan of the Browns the whole time. We're going to keep these guys out all of training camp. We're going to make sure these injuries get back to the closest that they could be to 100%. They don't, again, you'd like them to play, but they're not going to. Try to flush this out, and they'll be ready to go for week 1. Maybe that's been the Browns' plan the whole time. I don't know. Maybe you get Conklin and Wills back, and DeJuan Jones goes to that backup role. I don't buy that, by the way. I think DeJuan Jones is your starting right tackle week 1. I do. And, again, right now it would be hard to trade one of those guys, but you got all this swirling around the roster, and I get that there will be guys released, and you'll keep your eye out on the waiver wire, and maybe you pick somebody up. But again, I think it's more of just a couple of week thing. If you need a guy to start 2 games, I'm fine with it being Jermaine Ifedi. If James Hudson could be healthy, which, by the way, again, you don't know if Andrew Berry was talking about James Hudson coming back in the next week or 2 after sustaining the injury he did. Maybe it's him. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with one of those guys being your stopgap, and then you hope that either Wills or Conklin comes back. It's just a crapshoot. And again, the Browns know where they're at. They know where those guys' injuries are at. I guess place your bet, Ryan. Do you think that Conklin and or Wills will be ready to go week 1? Dude, a week from Sunday. A week from this Sunday. They got basically 2 weeks to get back. Do you feel confident at all that either one of those guys will be back? There's your answer right there. Probably not. And then it's not just them getting back. It's what semblance of the player are you getting back? Are you putting them in there? They're being effective? We'll see how it goes. So again, over the next, till tomorrow at 4 o'clock, you're going to see how these rosters shake out. I do want to run through positions, and I want to do it today because by tomorrow we are going to have some of that announcement. So I want to go position by position. We'll do our own little 53-man roster today. Would you want to be my assistant general manager, Ryan? I'll be the general manager.
Sounds good.
How good of a football team do you think we'd put together?
A good team.
Good team. Really good team.
Probably
right?
a great team.
I think a great team. I think would be fantastic. So we'll play a little general manager coming up as well. Some other things, Browns-wise, they went through ESPN, their top 100 list. They did snubs, guys that were too low, too high. I want to do that. I do have the roster. This was another one. They predicted their top 100 players. Well, I think it's the same list, right? It's their top 100, right? I think ESPN just put out their top 100, and that's the snub list. I thought they already did that. Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of Jeremy Fowler's top 10 rankings. That was going through the coaches and the GMs. Nope, we got ESPN's top 100. So we'll tell you where Miles is at, maybe Denzel Ward. We'll get to all that coming up. But I can go no further without talking about the guards. You did what I asked. I asked for 2 out of 3. Bats showing up a little bit. Bro, can I tell you the sweat I had yesterday?
Yeah.
So I took, cashed on Saturday night. That was a nice little win. Well done. Did you see that report out that they had a home run derby before the game? So I saw this from Barstool. Apparently, to loosen things up, Stephen Vogt had his guys do a home run derby in batting practice. What did they come out and do? Score 13 runs and smacking home runs everywhere.
Do it every game.
Nice little slump buster there. I like it. So Saturday aside, yesterday, I took the under, no problem, but I took the Guardians minus a run and a half. David Fry, I love you, man. I was sitting there in the 8th inning. Gaddis gave it up, and I was like, oh, we're smoked. We're smoked. And then David freaking Fry. I owe him a dinner. For that. Solid weekend. More importantly, that your bats kind of came alive again. Now, today, oh boy. You got the doubleheader. You got Sandlin as your opener. You got Logan Allen back. I'm going to ask for the miracle, man. And I know that this 4-game series, is it still 2? Did they win yesterday? The Royals? Or even the Twins?
No, they're both 3 back.
They both lost. Come on, guys. And I think we'll get to our plays later. We'll get to our trends for both today. It's going to, as we know, it's going to be the bats, man. And the fact that they had the weekend that they had, you got some production. You want to know another guy that I could feel the weight coming off of his shoulders this weekend was Lane Thomas, man. And he finally got some plays. He got in there. That's all you need. Naylor, maybe that's what he needed. Quan maybe starting to come back around like that. I just need these bats. And it's an ebb and flow thing. You know where I'm at. I'm neurotic when it comes to the Guardians. They lose a couple. I'm down in the dumps. I come right back up. I'll tell you this. This weekend has not pulled me back out, right? This weekend is what I asked them to do. Great. This Royals series, man. And it's like, it kind of sucks it's on a Monday, but I do know some people go to the game. It's a doubleheader. Just get after it. It's going to have to be the bats. Maybe a little bit of magic with the bullpen / getting your starters back out there and figuring that out. Ask for a little magic. We'll get, which, the other thing too, I'm just excited for 2 massive games today. I'm excited to sit down, 1 o'clock. It's a traditional doubleheader, is it not? It's like 1 and 7 or whatever. You got 1-10, and then I think it's a split doubleheader. Yeah, 1-10 and 640. So Sandlin goes against Cole Raggins, which, again, going to ask the bats to go. You get Allen to go tonight. Are they not calling up Joey Cantillo as well? Did I miss that? Am I misremembering that? Let me go check Zach here. Zach Meisel.
Royals are favored in both.
I figured they would be. So Logan Allen's going to be promoted. Sandlin will start, but then Joey Cantillo will be your 27th man. You get to bring somebody up for free on a doubleheader. So I'd imagine Sandlin to start, then you turn it over to Cantillo for the first game and try to get some length out of him. Bullpen's okay. I mean, they weren't overly used. And that's why, dude, Ben freaking Lively, man. You needed him Saturday night to be able to stretch that out. You got a big fat lead. You didn't have to pitch too many guys. Today's going to be a huge day. You know that. I know that. We'll get to our bets a little bit later with the guards. All right, let's play a little 53-man general manager here. So what I want to do is start position by position. And we don't need to write these down or anything, Ryan, but just there's going to be some obvious. So we start quarterback. You know Watson. You know Winston. I think it's pretty set. It's going to be DTR. And I know they were sniffing around some trades. You see where he's played. And I mentioned this last week. I see that avenue where they would want to move on from DTR. You're probably going to get a decent return for him. I'd say at minimum a 5th-round pick. I don't say minimum. I would say a 5th-round pick. That's pretty much what he's going to be worth. And it's 2 schools of thought. if you have Jameis Winston here, you don't need DTR as your backup. If Deshaun Watson is your long-term answer, well, I'll just re-sign Jameis or I'll find somebody else to be your backup. Things blow up with Deshaun Watson. You would say, well, maybe keep DTR around. Maybe he could be the future. Sure, but I also think you're hitting the hard reset button on that, and you're drafting a guy and maybe keeping Jameis around or finding another veteran, and DTR kind of loses his spot. So I open my mind up. I see where it is with Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and I'm a giant DTR fan. I was jacked when they drafted him. I think he's your third quarterback. You move on from Tyler Huntley. Any disagree on that?
No, I think it would be a huge mistake to take Huntley over DTR.
Running back, you know Ford, you know Foreman. I'll give you Pierre Strong because we think Hines and Chubb will be off. I don't think any debate on that. To wide receiver, you know your 4 locks. Cooper, Judy, Moore, Ced Tillman. I think Jamari Thrash makes this roster.
For sure.
I also think Michael Woods plays on this team. Now, the thing is, how much he played on Saturday, that is leaning towards getting a lot of film out to other teams to try to come get him. And Woods is, a couple-year draft pick now. He tore his Achilles, missed all last year. I kind of want to see Michael Woods. Now, where does your cut come in? I don't think David Bell's got a spot on this roster. I really don't.
I don't think
I'm going to hold on to that. And it's like, it sucks. Like, that's a 3rd-round draft pick that doesn't make your 3rd season, right? Right?
I think this is his 4th.
I think it's only his 3rd. It's got to be only his 3rd. And he's obviously been battling injury, too.
Is it only his 3rd, though?
I think so.
Wasn't he here with Baker one year?
He came in with, like, Alex Wright and... No, he came in with MJ Emerson. He came in with MJ.
Oh, did he?
So, yeah, he's entering his 3rd season. And it's funny, when you Google David Bell, the first person that comes up is the baseball player, like the former, like the manager, not the wide receiver. Yeah, 2022. So he's here 22, 23. This would have been his 3rd year. I just think it's unfortunate. I think the injury did, and I'm fine with the practice squad with him. So there it is. Tight end set. You got your 3 guys in Njoku, Aikens, Zaire Mitchell, Payton. I think that's fine. Offensive line, again, with what happens with Conklin and Wills, Hudson will be here. Batonio, Posick, Teller, Harris, Zinter, DeJuan Jones, Michael Dunn, and I think Jermaine Ifedi, and that's probably it. Adeniji would have made it. He's on IR. The other guys, practice squatters. Any issues on the offense there?
Nope.
All right, defensive tackle, which seems to be stacked. Like when I did mine, I think I got 6 DTs, man. Tomlinson, Harris, Hurst. I think Quentin Jefferson's good. You know Mike Hall. And I think Juwan Briggs / Sam Kamara. Siaki Ika's done. I'm not going to have that debate. He's off. He's done. So I think it could come down to Briggs or Kamara of potentially having 6. And, dude, that play Juwan Briggs had Saturday night, just overpowering that guard. And I know they like Sam Kamara. I think Briggs gets it, so there's your 6. DNs, Garrett, Za'Darius Smith, Obo Okoronkwo, Alex Wright, and I think one between Isaiah McGuire, Isaiah Thomas. I lean as Isaiah McGuire. There.
Okay.
Linebackers, JOK, Hicks, Devin Bush, Tony Fields, Diabate, and I think they'd like to find a spot for Nathaniel Watson, but he's been dealing with the quad injury. Here's where I think the other pup list moves could help out for him. If he's healthy enough to play, he's a good special teamer. He's a draft pick. I don't think he'd get picked up on waivers, but you grab him, put him on the roster. DBs, Ward, Delpit, Thornhill, MJ. Newsom's got to go to pup. There's no way he doesn't, right?
Yeah.
So then you open it up. Cam Mitchell, Rodney McLeod, Ronnie Hickman. I think, obviously, Miles Harden. I think Tony Brown makes it on the sub out for Newsom. I think Halasi makes it. And I got into a semi-argument with somebody about Justin Hardy, who sustained the concussion. I think he's all but a lock. He's your veteran special teams guy. I don't think he's not making this team. And then you get your 3 specialists. Bing, bang, boom. That's it.
Is that 53?
Yeah. Well, that's kind of my... Well, no, here's the thing. I think you might have a couple extra openings. Because if Hines and Chubb go to pup... Now, I also accounted for Conklin and Wills being on PUP. So that's where you're right at that threshold. Now, being at that threshold is not a good thing because they will keep at least 2 or 3 roster spots open to pluck from other teams that guys get released. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to be the 53rd man on the team because you're probably still not making in the opening roster because they want to leave a couple spots open for some other guys. And I'll open up to this guy could be traded. We don't see a fit for this guy here anymore. Sometimes player swaps, you get a conditional 7th. All that's going to be happening over the next, 16 hours or so. I'm bad at math, man. Don't hold me to that. I don't freaking know, man. 20 hours? Something like that, 4 o'clock tomorrow?
Like 32 hours.
32 hours. That's why we keep Ryan around here. I don't know. Do that tomorrow. But that's where I have it right now for the Browns. And obviously your 3 specialists. Interesting ones for me could be James Prochet because he does return kicks. Could he slide into that receiver room? But the thing is I did it. I don't have much wiggle room. You really do not have much wiggle room. And the nice thing, dude, we just did that list in 5 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't really be all that hard. It really shouldn't be all that hard. Your top 40 are set. Done. It's just some of these other ones. And that is most rosters. The other thing, remember when we used to have just failed draft? And I know there's 2 that you'd look at with Ika and Bell of failed draft picks that you got to move on from. And you just there's that, it pulls you in one direction to go, I got to hold on to this guy because I drafted him and we need to prove that he's the guy. You don't really have that anymore, which is great. I think Browns roster's pretty set. I feel really positive where we're at.
Yeah, I do as well.
So over to the rankings we go. ESPN put out their top 100 players this upcoming season. So hang on. I had it. Hang on. Let me find it here. All right. So, and I also, okay. Can I just get one list? They do it in here's your 20, here's 100 to 76 and all that kind of stuff. So I want to scroll through 100 to 76. Joey Bosa, Jonathan Taylor, Montez Sweat, Cousins, Diggs, Devin Witherspoon, Devontae Smith, TJ Hawkinson, Trevor Lawrence, Andrew Thomas, Cam Hayward, Denzel Ward, 74. He was not ranked last season. Daniel Oifusi on Denzel Ward. Ward was one of multiple players who flourished in the first season of Jim Schwartz. He tied first among all cornerbacks in coverage success rate at 68%. The Browns are adding wrinkles to their defense, and Ward's skill set should allow him to excel when he's on an island with elite receivers. His signature stat, according to NFL Next Gen Stats, Ward allowed a 54% completion percentage when targeted. That's been the 5th lowest in the NFL since he was drafted in 2018. That's a pretty good stat there for Denzel Ward at 54. Now, I go over to another list where they ran through snubs and low rankings and all that kind of stuff. Somebody threw in one of the underrated or too low players, Matt Bowen, Denzel Ward. And he says, Ward continues to be one of the most underrated corners in the NFL. Last season, he logged just 2 interceptions, broke up 9 passes. When I look at his tape, I see a top coverage defender with transition speed and upper-level technique to win on the perimeter. Ward belongs in the top 50, if not higher, for Matt Bowen. I feel like we do fight this about Denzel Ward all the time. Why do people crap on him?
Probably injuries.
I would say that's probably your answer. Everything works, man. He's got everything you would ask. He's paid like a top corner. He goes up against elite receivers, and it seems like he shows up. I don't know why. All right, I'm still scrolling through. I'm into the top 50 now of ESPN's rankings. Quinnen Williams, 50. Saquon Barkley, 48. Kyle Hamilton, 47. I think he should be higher than that, to be honest with you. Jeffrey Simmons, Josh Hines Allen, DJ Moore's at 42. Aaron Rodgers at 41. 41 for Aaron Rodgers. Their signature stat is he leads all active players in passing touchdowns, yards, and 4,000 passing yard seasons. Of course he does. He's 40. I don't know about that, man.
It's
whatever.
A legacy ranking.
I guess. Roquan Smith, 38. Garrett Wilson, 35. Brandon Ayuk, 33. Brock Purdy, 30. They do it just because it rhymes. Purdy is 30. Honestly, got no other Brown on this list other than Myles Garrett, right? There's no way Joe Bitonio's in the top 21. That's where I'm at.
No.
Hutchinson, 19. Sauce Gardner, 17. CJ Stroud, 15. Joe Burrow, 13. Chris Jones, 12. Huh.
It's a little low.
A little low for me. CeeDee Lamb, 11. We get to the top 10, ESPN's ranking. Number 10, TJ Watt. Christian McCaffrey is 9. Tyreek Hill, 8. Micah Parsons, 7. Jamar Chase, 6. Josh Allen, 5. Myles Garrett, 4. Justin Jefferson, 3. Lamar Jackson, 2. And 1, Patty Mahomes at number 1. Here's your write-up on Myles Garrett at number 4. Ryan, number 4, Myles Garrett. Yeah, right? That's pretty okay.
It's fine with me.
It's fine with you. Garrett finally broke through in 2023, winning Defensive Player of the Year. While teammates marveled at his physical abilities, Garrett focused on the mental side of his offseason, studying film on how top pass rushers beat double teams to adjust to the extra attention he receives. His 16.8 pressure rate when double teamed last season was 4th amongst all edge rushers. His signature stat, Garrett is the only player to rack up double-digit sacks in each of the past 6 seasons. 12 sacks. Oh, I'm sorry. You want his... I just gave it to you. Projection for this season, 52 tackles and 12 sacks. Now, ESPN did all of their top, stat projections. They actually said they thought Devontae Adams could lead the league in receiving this year. Interesting. Of all the top sack guys, bro, it was only like 12 and 13 was the top. And Myles was there with Watt, with Max Crosby. Wouldn't you think 15? Wouldn't you think minimum 15?
I would say
for the leader. I'm not even saying it's Myles. Just for the leader in the NFL, they didn't have anybody up near 15.
Yeah, I'd say for the leader, a minimum of probably 16.
I would say so. Now, do you also buy that the Browns only had 2 in the top 100, Denzel and Myles? Because I would say, what about Amari? What about Joel Bitonio? It seems like there's been this flip on Bitonio. Maybe because, again, he was injured last year. He had the knee scope and all that kind of stuff. But are you a little shocked that Cooper didn't make it?
I'm not shocked. Do I think he deserved it? Yes.
Probably.
But
yeah.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah. I just ran through that, and I was just like, But I get it, because this also, like you said, this list is a lot of name recognition. You know what I'm saying? And this is just the ESPN people. This is their group of people. Then what about snubs? Here's your list of snubs from ESPN. Derek Brown of the Panthers, Justin Tucker of the Ravens, Chris Olave of the Saints, Terry McLaurin of the Commanders, Nico Collins, Khalil Mack were their snubs. Guys that were too high on this list. Matt Bowen says Aiden Hutchinson at 19. Benjamin Solak says Brock Purdy at 30. And then Aaron Schatz says CJ Stroud at 15. He says, rookie year, no doubting how good he was. And he had the second most productive rookie season in defense-adjusted yards above replacement. How the fuck did they come up with this stuff? A DYAR. Defensive adjusted yards above replacement.
Do they say who was one?
I don't know. It said just the second most productive rookie season since 1979. Honestly, it might have been Baker. I don't know. But what Aaron says, quarterbacks who play as well as Stroud did don't necessarily take a leap in year 2. And he said, I would not put Stroud above Dak, Stafford, or Herbert because I question if he can show the consistency. Underrated, we said Ward at 74. Benjamin Solak said Kyle Hamilton at 47. And Aaron Schatz says Jalen Johnson at 88 is way too low. Which player should be in the top 10 that isn't? Joe Burrow, Amon-Ra St. Brown are the 2 that they put. And which rookie could crack the top 100 next year? Matt Miller says Caleb Williams. Jordan Reed says Malik Neighbors. And Field Yates, with his bum shoulder, goes out on a limb here. Don't hurt it while you stretch here, Field. Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harris won't make the top 100. Did you see that video? Fields dislocating his shoulder.
I did see that.
Poor Field. Is it just me? Or the inside? Like, do you remember when Jeff Passan broke his back?
No.
He broke his back, I think, because a tree fell on him.
I remember when Schefter tore his ACL.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the insiders at ESPN not doing well. Jeff Passan back. He suffered a broken back after a tree limb fell on him at his Kansas City home. That was a while ago, but I thought about just add that to the list of it. Keep Woj healthy, man.
I didn't know until a little while ago that Passan was from here.
He's from Cleveland.
Yeah.
He's from Cleveland, very much so. And I would say a little. I don't want to say he runs from his fandom here, but I think he's a little fan, a little bit of a fan of the Guardians, of the city of Cleveland. How could you not be with where we're at? So that was just run through of ESPN's top 100. Again, I thought maybe Cooper could be on the list, maybe Joel Bitonio. I don't know. All right, Ryan. Everybody saw this list from The Athletic, right? The quarterback tiers are out, and Deshaun Watson was tier 3. I'm not.
That's good.
That's what I said. I was like, I don't understand how people can get all wrapped up into this, and I want to make sure. I want to find this because I can't remember who wrote it. Okay, when I Google athletic quarterback tier, it's just athletic quarterback. It was Sando. That's right. It was Mike Sando. And here's the thing. I respect Mike Sando. I think he's very good. But I also, what else did you expect from Deshaun Watson? And I get that there's a section of Browns fans that are ride or die with Deshaun Watson. It's either you really think he's going to be that good, or he's the quarterback for your team, and you take offense to that. Sure. Folks, there's no other place for him to be other than tier 3. And if you want to look at it and say, okay, here's the crazy thing. Sando had Tua Tagovailoa in there. Trevor Lawrence, Geno Smith. Overall ranking for Deshaun Watson was 18. Ryan, I'm with you. That's a sign of positivity for me. I've got people that rank Watson at 24 and 26, and I get it because it's all a projection at this point. And it's a little flip that I've even had with Deshaun Watson. I'm almost looking at it like this is his rookie year. I'm looking at Deshaun Watson this year. I don't care what he did in Houston. I don't care about the contract anymore. I don't care about the draft picks. And unlike a rookie, I've at least got some sample size of him in this offense and playing, and I know he was 5-1 and all that. Ryan, I'm setting all that aside for this season coming up for the Cleveland Browns. I have a clean slate with Deshaun Watson. Now, here is where the pressure comes in. I have a team that's good enough to go win playoff games. I've got all pros. I've got guys paid. I've got linemen and receivers and corners and a good coach. And I've got all of these things. So my pressure on Deshaun Watson is strictly, I need you to be the quarterback of a good team to make the playoffs. It's not about what he's done in the past or what I think. That's it. My bar is top 12. So if I go off Mike Sando's list here and I say that Deshaun Watson is 18, good. I just need him to move up 6 spots. That's it. That's it. And I could sit here and debate about Trevor Lawrence or tell you why I think Tua is here. Whatever, fine. All I need out of Deshaun Watson is to sometimes be a game manager. What fouls people up is you then think about the contract and you think about what you've seen and you think about what he did in Houston. And I'm telling you, don't. Set that aside. I'm telling you, if I could flip something in your brain, if I go to Total Recall, great film with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think the remake sucked, but I never saw it. Go to Total Recall and have them flip a switch in your brain to act like Deshaun Watson just got here. You know nothing of him, nothing of his past. Start the season like that, and we'll see where we go. Now, the other issue is, unlike a true rookie quarterback or a guy that I'm flipping the switch on, he doesn't play well this year. He's going to leave. He's going to be gone, right? They're going to make that move after the season. And we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And I hope Watson plays well this year and does everything that you expect him. But, Ryan, I'm truly starting this season with a complete blank slate when it comes to Deshaun Watson. That's not me fanning scared either. It's that all that other stuff truthfully doesn't matter. The contract does not matter anymore. It has not been a hindrance to the Cleveland Browns about signing other players. The draft picks are gone. I'm not going to complain about it anymore. They're over. You are at this point of your Browns life, basically. It's where, Kevin Stefanski used to say this line all the time. I'm where my feet are. And what that means is I'm here, I'm in the moment, not worrying about anything else. Take that with Deshaun Watson, it'll be a lot better off. And even Ben Axelrod had another tweet this morning about, oh man, I thought the restructure was going to happen. Now again, you know where I've been on that. I didn't expect them to do it. I didn't think they were going to do it, and they haven't. But take all the rest of it out of it, man. Take all the rest of it out. Just enter this season. Figure out where it's at.
Do you have the tiers or no?
I can click on the article if I can find it. I don't have a login for The Athletic. Has anybody got one? Anybody?
Somebody give us one.
Somebody give us one. I should probably pay for it. It's only $1 a week for your first year. It's a pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. Can I be truthful to you for a second? I used to have a stolen login and it doesn't work anymore. Somebody got rid of it. Somebody got it that they knew I had it. And they changed their password on it. I should probably just pay for The Athletic, but no. I don't have it. So I can't even, should I just buy it? Do you really want to see it right now?
Man, it's not that big of a deal, but
what's that?
It's not that big of a deal.
I was trying to scroll through it here for a sec. Do you know where to go? Is it on Reddit?
I think so.
Search Reddit.
Yeah, I'm on Reddit right now.
Got it right now.
There's only I'm gonna trust this is what.
That's fine. Trust it. I believe it.
Wait, where's Deshaun?
Deshaun should be 18.
Oh no, this says Deshaun 11. So, this was a year ago.
Man, 11 a year ago. All right. We should just pay for it. Have Dave pay for it. It's like $12. We should have a station account. Just roll through it right there. No, I mean, okay, 18. Greg Newsome.
Yeah, I saw that.
You see that? He sent a little gif of a kid dancing.
Maybe he won't be on the pup.
Maybe he's not on the pup. Maybe he's not on the pup. I don't know. Maybe that's not it. All right. Okay. All right. Well, maybe that's good news for that. And again, all the things changing, and we'll see how it goes. All right, let's catch a break coming up here in a minute. We'll get back here. We got morning update coming. We got our guards plays for today. More football to sprinkle in. And we got time hop. We'll get to the grid. We got it all for you coming up here in hour 2. But folks, the week is upon us for our golf outing this Saturday. I can't wait. Already, it's going to be so much fun. We still have foursomes available. Go to bigplay.com. You can see the Eventbrite page. Saturday, 1 o'clock, Little Mountain. Registration starts at 12. You get lunch. You get dinner. You get the prizes. You get the very delicious garage beer. And I want to make sure that this is still available here. We still have our groups open for the Williams boys in Hanford?
I think.
Hang on.
Williams is gone. Maybe Hanford.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, want to know what? I think they're both gone. They are. They're both gone. So here's what it is. Oh. They're going to shoot pin shot at 11. Okay.
That was before. Okay.
Right. Okay, so I thought it was going to be during. So I didn't know if we're allowed to announce this or not, but here we are. You want to be on pin shot with Jimmy and Riz. Show up at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock, they're going to shoot it out on the par 3. If you don't want to, that's fine. Lunch starts at 12 with garage beers. Shotgun start after dinner, garage beer, and all the prizing right there. Tickets are available still. Go to bigplay.com. You're right. The Hanford, you and 3 of your buddies can come out and golf with Hanford. The Williams one is done. Do we have promo codes? It says open for promo codes.
Yeah, I did see that, but I'm not sure.
Okay, fine. Get your foursome, or we are opening this now too. If you just want to come golf, you can do that. $250. That's it. And you get, again, the prizes, the lunch, the dinner, all that at Little Mountain. Solo golfers, we will take. You got a twosome, you got a threesome. We'll figure that out. Get signed up today. Go to bigplay.com. It'll take you to the Eventbrite page. I think we still have some of the charity activations still available as well. That's free. You work with a charity, we'd love to have you out here on Saturday. So again, just go to bigplay.com. There's an activation for free. We'll donate you a prize, and hopefully you can raise a lot of money. So we'll see you there Saturday, ready to go with the Big Play outing with our friends at Garage Beer. So we'll see you there. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. I can't wait. So we'll see you there. Go to bigplay.com. As always, Monday's a busy day for us. Tonight, we got Hanford. We got Big Play Cleveland show. We got Blake and Greg Williams. What am I missing? Come get some Big Play Cleveland show in Hanford.
Correct.
That's it. So ready to go. Go follow us on Twitter, X, at Big Play. You can always subscribe to the YouTube channel and go download the brand new app. That's right, folks. We've got the app. Here's what you do. Boom. Done. See it? Right there. There's our interview with Warren Sharp. Big Play. Dan Lobby was on with Chico. Felix Wright. Quan. Drennan. Will Howard on the Bobby Carpenter show. By the way, Bobby's daily now, by the way. 12:30 almost every day. There's our show, Josh Maria, Enter the Jungle. All of it right there on the app. The app is free to download. It's in the iOS store. Roku, Apple TV. It's all there. Check it out. Big Play in the App Store and download the app today. Great stuff on that. All right, let's catch our break. We come back. Morning update. We'll get to the grid. Got it all. Hour 2 of Pine Stay with us. Fontana show right here on Big Play.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like ass. I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just, that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Welcome to Big Play, a sports media team that started back in 2014, and now we're not in a garage. Look at us, incorporating some of Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland. Coming to you live from the shores of Lake Erie and Burke Lakefront Airport, join Team Big Play for all the best sports talk in Ohio. Check us out on social media at Big Play, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland.
Anthony Schlegel, just how physical he was. You saw the girth and the power and everything he was bringing to the table, especially when he was a nice beefy 255 playing middle linebacker.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby as Authentic takes them around the far turn. Tis the Laws making his move now, and they're into the stretch. These two stride for stride. Authentic, tis the Law. Here's the wire. Authentic has won the Kentucky
Back out of here, Fontana Show on Big Play Football this week, man. We get a little college action. You think Ohio State 50? Like it? I don't, actually.
It's a lot of points.
I brought the stat up that under Ryan Day, they've only been a 50-point favorite once, and it was against Rutgers, and they didn't cover. Now, Rutgers should be better than Akron, but I think I'll take the Zips and the points there on Saturday. But again, had a great weekend.
You okay?
I put money on DJ Ongalele to win a football game. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Moron.
That's kind of on you.
Idiot. I have no one to blame but myself. I did what everybody did, man. Sit down on Saturday. Hell yeah, we get college football. They're in Dublin. I even had the kid. My wife's like, I'm going to brunch. I go, no problem. We'll see you later. Have fun. Sat down with my kids, let them kind of play, and I turn that game on, and I go, oh, man. Tech. You know, I don't like to run the football and all that kind of stuff, but Ongalele.
What'd you think of Saban?
I thought he was fine. You know, I think can I give him he needs no piece of advice from me, but like, that was his first appearance. That's fine. Him revisiting so much about why he left college football, get that out now, which is fine. I'm ready to move on to other things. And that's where, like, him just, I don't want to say complaining about NIL, but it's like, you got that out. We all know why you're not coaching anymore. What's next, right? Like, what are you moving on to next? I thought he was fine. But yeah, you sit down, you're like, all right, 10, no problem here. Georgia's. Somebody had an amazing tweet. They go, it was a picture of Moneyball when Jonah Hill's looking at Brad Pitt, and he's like, I got this guy. And he goes, he's as big as a linebacker, but he runs as like a running back. He's perfect. He's DJ Ongalele. And they go, that's fine. What's his problem? And they go, the forward pass was invented in 1903. Like it's bad. Anyway, college football back Thursday night. It's going to be a great weekend. So we got it all for you. Fontana Show, right here. Big Play. You can always follow us on Twitter, X, at Matt Fontana Show. We're up on YouTube, Twitch, and the IG for all that you need. Ryan's got all that you need with the morning update. Please take it away, Ryan.
All right. Well, the Guardians take 2 out of 3 over the Rangers. They remain 3 games in the lead in the AL Central. Pivotal series begins today at home against the Royals. Game 1, 1:10. Nick Sandlin to start for the Guards. Game 2 at 6:40. That will be Logan Allen on the mound for the Guards.
Yeah, and again, I do think it's going to, you got to figure out, are you going to lose the battle to win the war? Split today. That's all I ask. If you can somehow get a win, win both, that's fine. The tough thing is you got Cole Reagans on the hill for them, so he should be able to go deep into the game. That's why I think the first couple innings here in this 1 o'clock game is going to be crucial, man. If you can get Reagans out of that game and get into that Royals bullpen, help yourself for the night game a lot. Again, your opener, Sandlin, fine. You get to your bullpen. If it's going to be Logan Allen, just fine. I kind of like... the under for the first game, and that's weird because it's Sandlin, but I just think that might be a little bit of the fluky game there. All good. We'll get to it coming up. Exciting to watch meaningful baseball all day today, but split today, that's the name of the game. See how it goes.
Alrighty, well, the NFL preseason wraps up as the Browns prepare to cut down to 53. They have to do so by 4 p.m. tomorrow, but news came out this morning. As expected by most people, Nick Chubb will open the season on the PUP. That means he has to miss the first 4 games of the season, Matt.
Just go with anything you get from Nick Chubb as a positive. Start this season, like I was telling everybody to start with a clean slate with Deshaun Watson. Just view Nick Chubb, anything you get is a bonus. Because honestly, Ryan, I don't mean to keep bringing up the knee injury. We know what it is. Would that be shocking if he missed half of the season? And I don't think he will. So just look at it as the bonus. And the tough reality is this. We are probably on borrowed time with Nick Chubb. Just as far as the position that he plays, you want to get maybe a little younger there, and the injuries. And I hate thinking that way, and I hope he has a lot of productive seasons left. But I'm truly just basking in the glory here. That is Nick Chubb. Get anything you can out of him. And no, this offense is going to fall more on Deshaun Watson. Now, you want a good run game to help him out and to be able to open things up. But any little thing that you can get from Nick Chubb this year, truthfully, will be a bonus for me. So when he gets back, fantastic. It won't be the first 4. I don't even know if it'll be the first 5 or 6. It might not be. You get him back when he's ready to go, and it'll be an emotional boost, especially if they do that at home. And that's another little card at play here. The boost to the team, the boost to the fans. You save that for when you need it. We'll see Nick Chubb back at some point, and I'll be over the moon when it is.
Alrighty, well, Aaron Judge hit his 50th and 51st home run of the season in Sunday's 10-3 win over the Colorado Rockies. This is Judge's 39th career multi-home run game, the 5th this season, Matt. Aaron Judge is tied with himself for the most home runs in a single season for September. They still have 5 games in August. Right now, I'm looking at this list, Matt. Do you want to try and guess who is above him?
So the most home runs entering September. So
he's tied with himself right now at 51. He did that in 2022, and obviously this year's 2024.
Yeah, so it's got to be Bonds.
Bonds is 1 at 57.
Okay.
2001.
McGuire
55 and 98.
Sosa.
That'll wrap it up. He did it twice, and he's above Aaron Judge, 99 and 98.
There you go. Because that's the thing. Like, you would think Hank Aaron, and he had gaudy numbers, but not anything of what the steroid era guys were doing. And isn't it fun? I guess the baseball loves this. Why? Because it's just another thing to keep kind of pushing the steroid guys out. And I don't think Aaron Judge is on steroids. I don't think he needs to be. But like the whole thing is now he's attaining things that you thought impossible without using steroids, right? All those numbers, all those crazy things that he does, he's now doing it better than the steroid era guys. And I know that baseball would love nothing more for him to get to 800. Think about that, you know? And that's a lot. Like, not just passing Bonds. What's Bonds? 465? Hank is the one that we all remember, 715. Barry Bonds, home run. 762. 762. So I would have to imagine that for Aaron Judge, again, for baseball, they'd love nothing more. And the one home run kind of reminds you, too, about that short man. If he was just a lefty in Yankee Stadium, but he takes advantage of it as well. You realize, too, like, he will eventually, not that he's not already there, but I'm shocked that he's not entered. Remember when Josh Hamilton was getting walked with the bases loaded? When Bonds would get intentionally walked with runners on? Like, you're starting to enter that with Aaron Judge. Now, the other side of this, when it's a game that's just completely out of hand, I hope these teams keep pitching to him, right? When you're down 10-3, and I know that was the final score, but you get what I'm saying. When you're down that much, it's just easy to say, well, we don't want this guy to keep doing this to us. We're just going to walk him. Nah, man, let him keep pitching. Keep throwing to him. I would love to see him break the record. I really would. And then it kind of could maybe finally be done with the steroid era and all the bitching and moaning that goes with that. But clearly, he's very on pace for it. You talked about the record that where he's at. He's incredible. He is absolutely incredible. Now, the thing is Aaron Judge not 33 years old? He's 32. So he'll be 33 next year. And the DH position will be nice. Like, Ryan, there is a real chance that he plays another 10 years. 42, that's not out of the realm if he's just batting. The thing that I'm going to watch on Aaron Judge, you can't become Miggy Cabrera, where Cabrera's his body, but he was always like a bigger kind of guy anyway. Like, and again, I hate the Yankees, but I'm kind of rooting for Aaron Judge, man. I think it's a fun story. Good for him. Just don't do it against us, and don't do it against us in the playoffs. That's all I ask.
All right, well, Aaron Judge, very good. Chicago White Sox, very bad. Sunday, they got their 100th loss of the season after they lost the Detroit Tigers 9-4. They have to go 12-19 the rest of the season, Matt, to avoid tying the 1962 Mets, who finished 40, 120, and 1. In this modern era, only the 1916 Philadelphia A's, who were 29, 101, reached the 100 loss mark in fewer games than this year's White Sox.
Do you want to know the worst part is they actually don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, the players on the team, I'm sure they're trying to win, but they don't really care. As bad as this season has gone for them, and I feel bad for Grady. I don't think he's going to keep that job, but they're done, man. They're cooked, and they're not beating that record. They're going to go down. It'll be probably as much of a full rebuild as you can get. The thing is, they've got no help. And you can look at some teams and say, man, look at the Royals, and look, they turned around. Bro, Chicago has nothing going in their favor. Okay, you kept Garrett Crochet. Congratulations. Awesome. Like, the stink on that, you don't overcome that. Mark my words, you won't see the White Sox in the playoffs for the next 7 years. It's going to take a long time to get over top of some of the things that they had. And again, it goes back to just 3 years ago, they were the favorites to win the Central. They had all of these guys on that team. Just 3 years later, they're going down as historically the worst team in baseball history. That does something. Can I do something that's talking about historic? Remember at the card show at the IX Center? And they had the Babe Ruth called this shot jersey?
I do indeed remember that.
It sold at auction.
Did it?
It sold.
Let's hear the numbers.
Do you want to guess? It's a tough thing to guess, right? Like,
I mean, we're talking mills.
Oh, yeah. Not hundreds.
Right. 12 million.
$24 million. $24.1 million. And that jersey was at the IX Center for people to see. The iconic New York Yankees jersey worn by Babe Ruth during his most famous at-bat of his legendary career sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $24.1 million. It was last sold at auction 20 years ago for $975,000. And the buyer was ridiculed for spending that. Now he gets a 24-time return on the investment. Trying to find a little more information on this. I mean, it was there. They photo mashed it. You know, they also really thought he wasn't actually calling his shot. Like, it was kind of made up that he didn't really do it. I don't know. It's been long driven into extinction by the modern ambiguity of the camera eye. Just in a single grainy film can be seen. The doubters claim the footage Ruth's hands points towards the Cubs dugout, as the believers are to insist that it validates the popular center field narrative. So you point to the dugout instead of center. Whatever. $24 million. Chump change if you got it, but $24 million there for the jersey. Congratulations.
Already finally here for the morning update, Matt. It was a first in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, as Lake Mary walks off Chinese Taipei to win Florida's first ever Little League World Series championship. Florida teams were previously 0-8 in the Little League World Series titles of all time.
I would assume, California, Texas, Florida for Little League baseball? Like, I know football is really good, but where would you probably play baseball and do it well would be the states it's the warmest, I guess. Congratulations to them.
Little League, do you watch it at all?
Not really. I saw the highlight of the air. It kind of sucks that it goes down, the way that it... The thing is the viral moments. They call me Big Al and I hit dingers type stuff.
They call me Big Al.
Can I...
Big
Al.
Family
show, but... I've seen it for years. It's not like it was recent. Is that thing with Alexis Texas where they put the favorite actress in it? Is that real? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I saw that.
Is that real? I don't know.
They probably didn't know.
You got to vet that, but maybe it's slip. I don't know. Don't Google it. Don't even worry about it. I was just wondering. I mean, you also got to remember these are kids. Mm-hmm. You're watching it. D-Gen's betting on it. Yeah. That, high school football, okay, whatever. The Little League World Series, though?
You can't actually bet on that, can you?
I don't think so.
No way.
I saw props.
Yeah,
maybe it's just fictitious or something like that.
I bet on it's like Reflux High School line.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel DeGen for betting on preseason games. Oh boy. The Commanders were plus 275 dogs last night. Outright win.
How's there
Cash that.
How's there plus 275 in the preseason?
Because they assume that the starters aren't... Drake May played. Jaden Daniels didn't. So I get where it's... whatever, man. I cashed. I was happy about it. But, yeah, that is DGen of all DGen. Plus, again, it sucks that it... It just ends on an error that way. They got to remember they're still kids. I don't know. It's a tough one. Speaking of tough... Do you know... I sent you the tweet, Ryan. I aced both the ones Saturday and Sunday. Mm-hmm. Easy ones. And we can't get those on a Thursday when we freaking need it.
It happens.
Do you want me to announce the giveaway? Will that help things, or do you like the mystery around it? I think I might have to flip it now.
Okay.
I had another giveaway lined up, ready to go.
What was it?
I was going to do a copy of Madden.
I figured. That's what I thought it was going to be.
Do you want to do a copy of COD now? Pre-orders are out. The beta.
Can I win that?
Sure. You know, you have to go with everybody else.
Yeah.
The other thing, no
I think
joke,
COD
I
would
was
be
going to
cool.
try to give away a group for the outing on
That would
Saturday.
be- oh.
I don't have a group to give away, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to put that on Dave.
Right.
Plus, like, for us to get done on... That's why I wanted to do it last week.
I
No
think COD
joke.
would
I
be
wanted to
sick.
ace it last week so bad because I was going to text Dave and Ken on Friday and say, could we get a group?
Yeah.
And then do a giveaway all this week.
That'd be cool.
Because we can't do it on Friday and then ask everybody, go, hey, man, you know, we'll see you in an outing tomorrow. I'm just so angry.
I think COD's a really good one.
All right. Maybe we'll flip to that. Game doesn't come out for a while. The beta starts on Wednesday. I'll tell you what. Let's get it done. Then we'll figure it out. Yeah. You know how it works. Up and down, left and right. Today, on the whole, seems like a pretty easy one now that I look at it. Go.
Super Bowl champ. I guess we could just go Drew.
Sure. Eli. His brother. All right.
Where do you want to start?
Raiders, Colts, Gardner Minshew. Oh, he just got there. Gardner Minshew just got there. Correct. That does not work. All right.
Saints, Raiders. Well, it's Derek Carr.
Yep.
Giants, Raiders. That's Darren Waller.
Very good. Then the Colts, Raiders. I don't know. I'm just blinded with Gardner Minshew at this point. All right. Nick Foles, no. Phillip Rivers, no. Matt Ryan, no. Legacy players, I can't think of any. Like Marvin Harrison didn't go there. Stokely didn't go there. Reggie Wayne didn't. All right, we can hold off on that one. All right, let's knock out some Green Bay here.
Okay, this is Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham.
That's Randall Cobb.
That's Randall Cobb. Wait a minute. What? No, wait.
Oh, he's the Jets. I thought he played for the Giants, though.
No, he didn't. And I said it. I didn't even think because I was already onto the Colts.
You'd made me so confident.
You're going to have to use the lifeline today already.
Yeah. Forgot about the lifeline. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that sucks.
Do you want to finish it out? Do we have to finish it before we can even move on to the lifeline?
Yes.
Do you want to act like it didn't even happen?
Kind of.
All right, let's act like it didn't happen.
We're desperate for a giveaway.
Because, like, it was just in the heat of the moment, okay? So we slow ourselves down here. It's all right.
That's depressing.
That's very depressing. All right. Packers, Colts. Packers, Colts. It's not Mason Crosby because it was Adam Vinatieri that kicked in Indy, and obviously he never kicked in Green Bay. I don't know why I thought Deshaun Kaiser, but I don't think he ever even appeared in a regular season game after we sent him to Green Bay. I don't know. Damn it. Colts, Packers. I'm on green. I don't think so. Dude. I'm just flustered. Flustered.
I mean, Greg Jennings, did he play for the Colts or Giants?
I mean, Jared Cook, who's become our new, played for 1,000 teams. Colt McCoy doesn't work. Josh McCown, I don't think works. Ryan Fitzpatrick doesn't work.
I'm just depressed.
I know.
Should we just go to Wordle?
That's fine.
You want to give up and see?
Yeah.
Jeff George, Blake Martinez, Jeff Saturday. I mean, we just didn't have our heart in it after,
Yeah, after we kind of screwed that up.
you know.
All right.
Let
We
me
go to
pull up
Wordle. We go to Wordle.
It is what it
Now,
is.
we pulled ourselves out of the fire on Wordle last week on a Monday and got through it.
Yeah.
So maybe we got it again today. Failure. No, that's too many words.
Awful.
Awful. Awful. We are just awful. Okay.
I mean,
I don't know. But you scrolled over the B like you were going to start something.
oh no, I just pains.
Sure. Okay. S E,
Shame.
but there's no A in. Oh no, yeah, duh.
Shame.
Duh.
I'm just-
Shame. I know.
See the theme here.
Yeah.
Awful pain.
Yeah,
Shame.
that's it. Okay, all right. So SRA.
I'm just putting X's. To
That's
fill.
fine. SRA.
Snake.
Yeah, I'll listen to that.
Oh, there's no N. Never
Oh,
mind.
okay. Oh, sorry. SRA.
Steak.
No. Oh, you mean like a stake in the ground?
Yeah, like KE.
Yeah, try it. Yeah, because we have a T. Yeah. Steak. Run!
I don't even feel good about
I
it.
know.
I don't even feel good.
I know.
Good,
I know.
Good Wordle, though. Good Wordle round.
Good Wordle round, but we're back at it tomorrow. That's it. That's what we got. You know what? I got Albert Breer around training camp. His biggest takeaways, talks Justin Fields, Steelers, and he talks about the Cleveland Browns. So, Albert, I think it's really interesting how he paints this picture, right? Because I'll give you one guess what he starts with, Deshaun Watson. But what he talks about is his belief that we should be able to see tangible things with Deshaun Watson pretty early in the season. This is what Breer writes is his biggest camp takeaway from the Cleveland Browns. And he writes, I think we'll be able to see in September how Deshaun Watson's doing with the Cleveland Browns. For his part, Kevin Stefanski has been pretty positive on where Watson has been after a full summer's work under his belt. On his decision to sit Watson for the last preseason game, Stefanski told reporters he didn't want to throw the quarterback out there with a number of offensive guys not playing. Then he added he's very confident in the amount of work Watson has gotten to date through the spring and the summer, and he'll be ready to go week 1. Here's Breer's write-up. As I see it, the Browns did a lot this offseason to try to make the scheme work for Watson and Watson specifically. New OC Ken Dorsey's background in the New England offense, where he learned from Brian Daboll, and in which Watson ran in Houston for Bill O'Brien, was a big factor in the hiring of Ken Dorsey. New line coach Andy Dickerson's experience is in a quarterback-friendly Shanahan-style scheme, is also a part of this. In particular, the Browns really like what Dorsey can do in the shotgun run game, shotgun drop back game, and with tempo, all elements that O'Brien used to leverage the best of Watson's game from Clemson. Which is to say, the Browns are doing what they can now to give their quarterback a real comfort level and confidence in what he's running. That on paper should at least show up quickly in the season. That's Albert Breer's write-up. Now, we connect a lot of these dots. What Breer is writing is something that we have talked a lot about last week on the show, right? There's a connect or a disconnect between what what Stefanski really likes to run and maybe what Watson does best. So what you're saying is, let's bring in some new people like they did to try to get this on the right page for Watson, give him all the tools necessary, and get him to a comfort level first. And I'm going to go back to what Jim Schwartz did last year. Let's start with a base. Let's start with the easy stuff first. Let's get you connected on that, and then we can start sprinkling in the rest of the stuff. Ryan, it goes hand in hand with what we talked about earlier in the show. Start with a base of nothing. Start with absolutely nothing with Deshaun Watson. Assume like he's a rookie quarterback. And then you can start adding and building and putting in extra things as you start to fall yourself down the road of the season. So and I'm not saying this vanilla, the offense will be vanilla, but maybe you just start it there. The thing is, we're going to go into week 1. And if Watson's not throwing the ball all over the yard and pushing it down the field, you're going to be concerned. And you're going to sit there and be worried that, oh, man, maybe he's not really the guy, or maybe this isn't going to pay off. We need to maybe just open the window that he's going to have a couple rough games. And then you know what I'm going to complain about. You're going to stop me about it, about him playing in the preseason. And I won't do it. I just won't do it. So then you step aside and say there's going to be this ramp-up period. They're going to install this new stuff and instill it on Watson to get it. It's almost like he's a baby bird and he's about to fly the nest for the first time. Put all this cushion around him. Put all of this stuff around him to make him feel comfortable, to make him feel like, hey, I don't need to do all of this myself. But again, it's going to come back to what? Still got to make the plays. You're doing all this to set it up for Watson. He's got to do it. But, Ryan, I kind of like that is the path that it seems like the Browns are going to go on right now. Let's put Deshaun Watson. You're going to stream with kid gloves, right? You always hear, take the gloves off, man. Let him go. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you need to treat him like Drake May. Maybe you need to treat him like Caleb Williams. And that is inherently what? A shot. It seems like I'm talking down to Deshaun Watson. And I don't mean to do that. And the other side of it is he could get pissed off and go, dude, I'm a franchise quarterback. I've been playing this league for 8 years or whatever. And don't treat me that. You take offense to that, right? When it's like, in reality, man, we got to start it before you start to talk about 304 level, 100 level classes. Let's pass intro to economics, man. Let's pass our intro to biology before we start moving on to some other things here. Take that step back. And that's something that I don't think the Browns have done with Deshaun Watson. Because inherently, what? You get, okay, what was number 1? He was suspended, okay? He came out, just let it fly. We'll see how it goes. Then you come out last season, and we're going to do it all. And we're going to throw this all out there. And he played well. All right, kind of, okay, now he got hurt. Now he takes a step back. Now might be the time to actually take a step back. Let's take a step back on Deshaun Watson. Start it even. People are going to be pissed off about that, Ryan. You want to know why? Because he paid $230 million. Because he gave all these draft picks. Because all these. Maybe this is the right thing to do finally for the Browns. You got to take a couple steps back to move back on forward.
Yeah, it's... With 0 results, basically, is what we've gotten so far.
Oh yeah, that's the tough thing. Yeah.
Right. You just want to speed up the process as much as, and the most thing you want to see is a turnaround.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating, but we've dealt with so much over these last couple of years. It's like a little bit more waiting isn't going to hurt. And if it's truly what you need to get in the right direction, then at this point, I'm willing to exhaust all options.
Yeah, and the other thing, to try to figure out what Watson is or isn't, if you start on a base of nothing, there's your oh man, when you do an experiment, your control, right? Here's your control. Here's without any other variables. We gave you everything. And again, when you got to make that decision about Deshaun Watson, if you sat down, I'm just going to play this out. I hope this doesn't happen, but let's see. If you sat down and said, man, we gave you these pieces. We ran the simplest offense for you. We ran offenses that you ran at Houston, that you ran in Clemson. We basically let you almost call your own plays. We did everything to help you. And it still went bad. What else are we supposed to do? And I don't, have the Browns tried that the last couple of years? Yeah, maybe to a degree. But now, and even just reading what Albert wrote this morning in MMQB, this was the all-in move. It was very clear and obvious that the Browns, this was finally the year that they are going all in the Deshaun Watson business, changing the offense, bringing in Jerry Jeudy, because now you're out of time. Now is the time to get your true answers on if he's your guy or not. So let's start with a base of nothing. Let's make this the easiest that we possibly could for Deshaun Watson to have success. And I hope he does, but if he doesn't, at least you get your answer. Let's do that. Let's start there with them just like, again, the simplest little things. He's going to have to do it without a running back. He's going to have to do it without Nick Chubb. You're going to have to find your way through that offensive line. But it would not shock me early in the season to see like this the simplest little things for Deshaun Watson. Because then also what? You can build some confidence. Start with the easy stuff, man. Don't start with the hard stuff. Do the easy stuff. And then go from there. Little Cavs news this morning. They're going to move their training camp to Florida. Got this from Spencer Davies, friend of show. Cavs are switching things up this preseason. They're going to hold their 2024 NBA training camp at the IMG Academy at Brayton, Florida, October 1st through the 6th. They're going to have media day on Monday, September 30th, and then they're going to fly to Florida to have their training camp there.
Should I go cover it? I got family in Bradenton.
You can go if you want, right outside of Sarasota.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe Altman said, the city of Sarasota and the IMG Academy is the perfect backdrop for our training camp this year. It's a unique opportunity for us to utilize a world-class facility away from our usual environment, providing an excellent setting for building team chemistry and culture. They're going away like the Browns. They're going away like a lot of NFL teams. We extend our gratitude to the IMG Academy and surrounding area for their warm hospitality in hosting our organization. Their state-of-the-art facilities and supportive communities are being instrumental in helping us prepare for the upcoming season. I mean, that's because it's not like they don't have training camp open to the fans. You know, the only thing is the media that's going to have to travel down there. Does that have anything to do with like the Cavs facility? They're moving it down to the river. Has that got something to do with it? I don't know. That's the first thing I thought of. This literally just came down. The Cavs are going to go down to Florida for their training camp. Is there a connection there that they're getting rid of the facility in Independence? I don't know. I just saw it. I think it's pretty easy. I got a Black Ops 6 trailer reveal. I'll watch that later. Yeah, do you like that giveaway? Because when does COD actually...
I like the giveaway. I think that's a really
You want to win the giveaway.
I know I can't, but I still like it for the people.
I know. Are there a lot of people out there that are Call of Duty fans? It doesn't really fit. Like, football was fine because it was football. It was back. But Call of Duty's big in its own right. I'll tell you what. Why don't we get through a freaking week? Mike tweets this. He goes, you guys already had... Yes, we already had to use the lifeline on a Monday. All right, this is Ian Rappaport on Nick Chubb. The Browns planned for Chubb to begin the season on PUP back in the spring when they restructured his deal. Oh. Did we know this? Most roster bonuses require 17 games active to require the full amount. Chubb's deal is only 12. Huh.
Oh.
Yeah.
So maybe not.
Browns had a plan the whole way. All right. So again, this just came down from Rapp. Most roster bonuses require 17 games active to earn the full amount. Chubb's deal is only 12. So they knew that when they restructured it. All right. Oh, my God. Did you see this from Cleveland Scene? Arthur Treachers is coming back.
Bro, what is that?
You don't know Arthur Treachers?
No, you just got me excited.
Sorry, not that. Arthur Treachers was a fish and chips, like a drive-through fish and chips. And the last one that I knew...
Long John Silver's?
It was Long John Silver's before Long John Silver's. And the last one that I knew was in Parma, over by Southland, where like Mark's and stuff is over there. There was one right on the other side of the street. So the last one sold. Ben Vittoria closed his Arthur Treachers in Garfield Heights, reducing the number of surviving locations to 1. But not only did he revive and rebuild the Garfield Heights location, last year he bought the Cuyahoga Falls shop. They're going from now 2 to 3. So they're going to have Garfield Heights, Cuyahoga Falls, and they're reopening one in Cleveland Heights to bring it to 3. The restaurant chain at one point had over 820 locations. Now, imagine if Well, a Taco Bell, I'm sure, is a lot more than $8.20. But like something like that big falling down to $3. Like Blockbuster. You know, when Blockbuster had all those, now you're down to $1 in Oregon.
That's sad.
All-
Bend, Oregon, I believe.
Did you ever go into it like a Blockbuster?
Oh, yeah. I had one right by my house.
Can you follow me on this?
Mm-hmm.
They all have the same smell.
Yeah, they do.
And
so do GameStop.
So do GameStops.
Is that what you're about to say?
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
Yes. Every single GameStop which again, another one that's going to be killed by history or time, I guess. Every GameStop that I ever went to in my life smelled the same. Even when I went back to, do you know what EB Games is? Electronics Boutique. They were GameStop before GameStop. Bro, they had one. It was the weirdest storefront ever at South Park Mall. It was a bend, like, you know, just in the concourse. And EB Games was like right in the corner. It was all about this wide, but they all smelled the same. It had to have been the plastic in the games, right?
It 100% is.
Could you imagine working in that 8 hours a day? Get out of there loopy. But they all smelled the same. Blockbusters, Hollywood Videos, and then the pain, like the VHSs, there was nothing in them. So you'd have to take your VHS up and you'd have to go. How many times my dad had to go return games at like 11:30 at night because you had to be in the drop box before they got to work the next day or you'd get charged?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Arthur Treacher's is so good, man. You like seafood? Are you a big seafood?
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Some things.
A good fish and chips.
Yeah.
Little popcorn shrimp.
There you go.
That's where it's at. Although, well, never mind. One of the worst bouts of food poisoning I ever got was popcorn shrimp from Applebee's.
Oh,
so bad.
Oh, Applebee's makes me, dude.
Oh, dude, no, I love Applebee's. Their wings are goated. Their barbecue boneless wings are goated. Like that sauce, I'd buy it for my house if they sold it. I don't think they do. But it's so damn good. Sorry, I just freaked out because Arthur Treacher's is coming back. Not coming back, because again, they had the 2, but now they have one in Cleveland Heights. I'll drive out there. So they have Garfield Heights and Cuyahoga Falls opening, and now they've signed on a lease for the property. And the restaurant will be open by the end of the year out there in Cleveland Heights. All right, I'm in for that. If you could own a chain restaurant, which one would you own? Because it's like a balance of like
Chipotle,
not just
if I
you
can get it
eating,
free.
but it's also having a lot of success. I think
Chipotle.
Chipotle. I think
Or Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A prints money. But I guess it's kind of hard to get those. I mean, I guess it's probably hard to do any of it. But we'll see. All right, Cleveland.com. What's this? Something about the stadium. Sean McDonald, Cleveland.com. It would cost hundreds of millions of dollars to renovate the downtown Cleveland Stadium sitting on the in the waterfront. But now apparently this has to do something with Cincinnati. Cleveland.com. Well, the conversation around Cleveland is whether the Browns will play or where the Browns will play and how much taxpayers will contribute. Apparently, this is now going to go on down in Cincinnati. The Bengals will. Oh, this is okay. So the whole point of Sean's article here is whatever the Browns get, the Bengals will be right behind them saying, where's our money too? Because we need to refurbish Paycor Stadium. Bill Seitz, a Republican state representative from the Cincinnati area. Whatever kind of funding is extended to the Cleveland sports teams, we would expect it to be extended to the Cincinnati sports teams as well. State lawmakers have 8 major league teams on their roster. Dan Tierney is spokesman for Governor DeWine. It's fair to say that for pretty much every sports team, pro sports team that exists in the state, their facility was built in the mid-90s to early 2000s. Again, the crew got their new stadium. Browns representatives said they would seek $600 million from the state and local governments towards the $2.4 billion in the Brook Park area. The Haslams would pay for $1.2. Since then, Cuyahoga County leaders have said they will not provide any funding for a stadium in Brook Park, with the county leaders pushing to keep it downtown. So now you've got Cincinnati stepping up to say, you're going to get those renovation costs. We need them too. Hamilton County officials and the Bengals declined to comment to Cleveland.com about Paycor Stadium's future. But the discussions are clearly heating up. It's no coincidence. The Bengals' new home opened in 2000, 1 year after the Browns. The Gensler architectural firm presented a report to the county officials saying in 2022 that Paycor needed almost $500 million in upgrades and maintenance over the next 20 years. They're also working on a master plan for the Cincinnati Stadium. That $493 figure includes upgrades to the infrastructure like lighting, but doesn't include big ticket items like a new scoreboard. The same presentation said the NFL average stadium renovation costs between $600 and $850 million. A report leans towards renovation as opposed to replacing Cincinnati Stadium. Hamilton County agreed last year to spend $39 million to upgrade some things there at Paycor Stadium. The Bengals also announced they'd spend between $100 and $120 million at the stadium, according to the Cincinnati Enquirer. Hamilton County Commissioner said the county officials were hoping to start discussions with the Bengals over the next couple of weeks. The discussions would include the team's lease and what renovations could be done down there in Cincinnati. Okay, final thing. How much would the state kick in for the Bengals? Tierney, DeWine spokesman, said, the governor sees spending state funds on professional sports stadiums and arenas as good investments. You know, again, residents, keeping them happy, taxes, all that kind of stuff. But it's too early to make funding decisions about either the Browns or the Bengals. He said teams and local officials need to decide on what their plan is and what exactly they would like to do with the renovations. Then they have a whole chart here about renovations. State assistance. Okay, this goes back to 1997, all the way up to this season, on what the state has spent in appropriated funds to help each stadium, okay? Top of the list, they have paid $50 million for Paul Brown Stadium. Again, that goes back to even when they were building it. $36 million for Cleveland Browns Stadium, $23 million for Great American Ballpark, $30 million for Progressive Field upgrades, and then $20 million for the Crew, $20 million for where FC Cincinnati plays. I don't see why do I not see Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse on here? Yeah, they're not on this list. Huh. I guess they got no appropriation of funds there. Okay. All right. Well, I brought it up because this just came up about, you know, the stadium thing has kind of calmed down and everything was getting ready to go for the season. But I think it's a really great, interesting point that as soon as the Browns go up to the state capitol with their hand out, the Bengals are going to be right behind them. Mm-hmm. And how are you going to say yes to one and yes and no to another?
So the Browns are better?
Well, I mean, the other thing about Cincinnati is they only have the ballpark. They only have, and the soccer team, I guess I'm selling them short. I don't see the Blue Jackets on here either, which is interesting. You know, the Mud Hens are on here, the Rubber Ducks, the Clippers, the Walleye, the Toledo Walleye hockey team, Dayton Dragons, all that kind of stuff.
What are the Dayton Dragons?
They play, are they single A? They're single A or double A?
Oh, it's baseball.
Oh, yeah, baseball. Yeah. High A affiliate of the Reds. That's it. The high A affiliate of the Reds. So, yeah, I mean, like, again, the state, you're going to sit there and like, all right, where's our money? You got to appropriate to everybody else. Oh, sorry, I just thought that was interesting as it comes up. All right, you want to do a little bit of time up here? We'll get to our bets for the Guardians today. Let's roll. All right, we head on back a little bit of time up. Tell you here on the 26th of August, what do we got, including 1 year ago today, Browns, Chiefs, preseason. Deshaun Watson played and led 2 touchdown drives. Now, the issue in this game, Ryan, was Cade York had a 43-yard field goal to win it, and it got blocked. And that was kind of the first time that we sat there and maybe thought, like, hey, are we worried about Cade York? And I sent a tweet that I said Cade York was going to be the week 1 kicker for the Cleveland Browns. And I was wrong. I was wrong. I admit it. That's the whole point of doing timeout. Now, the thing is, what they found in Dustin Hopkins. I mean, there's a world that Dustin Hopkins is no much better than KD. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just happened to find Dustin Hopkins, and it worked out for you. But here we are, preseason game 1 year ago today. This day, 2020, both the Lakers and the Clippers voted to boycott the NBA season coming up because of COVID, I guess. But, like, when did the bubble happen? Was the bubble already going on?
Bubble was...
No, that was in the fall, right? So they must have been talking about boycotting the bubble, right? Which is funny because then they would...
I was going to say the Lakers won.
They won the whole thing.
Yeah.
Hang on. Yeah, the playoffs... The finals were September 30. The playoffs had started. We were in the middle of the playoffs. But they must have... I don't know, but boycott... Like, what? Phase 1, Phase 2... I'm trying to look this up. Like, I just had it written. They must have been, like, talking about boycotting the upcoming season or something like that. I don't know, but that's what they did this day, 2020. This day, 2019, ESPN's top 100 NFL players. Odell Beckham was at 13. Myles Garrett, 21. Denzel Ward at 45. And Baker Mayfield was 89 on ESPN's list this day, 2019. This day, 2017, Browns preseason Buccaneers. DeShone Kizer got the start for the Browns back in 2017. Of course, we all know 2017 would be. You want a little box score on that?
Please.
All right. We won 13-9. By the way, we went 4-0 in the preseason to then go 0-16 in the regular season. DeShone Kizer, 6 out of 18. Touchdown. Just interception. Kevin Hogan threw a touchdown. Cody Kessler also with action. Duke Johnson was your leading rusher with Isaiah Crowell. Corey Coleman, 4 receptions for 66 yards. And Seth DeValve. Remember him?
Yeah.
4 receptions for 57 yards. Kenny Britt had a catch for 13 yards. Christian Kirksey, Joe Schobert, Dominique Alexander, all your leading tacklers. I'll give you 1,000 guesses. The starting quarterbacks, or the 2 quarterbacks that played for Tampa.
Okay. Remind me, what year was it?
2017.
For Tampa. Oh, God. Mike Lennon?
No. Good pull, but no.
2017.
One hit's very close to home right now.
Really? Not Jameis.
Jameis.
Oh, it was
Winston.
Jameis.
Yeah, he was still there. This was rookie year, wasn't it?
2017?
17? Or was he the 14 draft? I always get him confused. When was Jameis Winston?
2014, I think. Or
When was he
15.
drafted?
15 or 14.
Oh, it's 15 because he went 1, then Mariota went to 15. Done.
17 is gone.
17, and then Ryan Fitzpatrick was also their quarterback in that game. Yeah. Jacquizz Rodgers was their leading rusher. Chris Godwin, who is still there, was their leading receiver in the Browns preseason game this day, 2017. Also this day, 2017, Floyd Mayweather knocked out Conor McGregor. I didn't watch it. I listen, man, I am a big MMA fan. This other stuff with Jake Paul, who I can't stand anyway, and these like celebrity fights and stuff like that, it does nothing for me. Like watching Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like it's whatever. But it was, and I know they made $1 bajillion off of it, but it was this day 2017. All right, I've got another Browns preseason game this day 2016, also against Tampa Bay.
Okay.
We lose 30-13. Robert Griffin III gets the start. Josh McCown, Cody Kessler all play. Jameis Winston, Mike Lennon, and Ryan Griffin, all the passers there for Tampa. Isaiah Crowell, Duke Johnson, and RG3 are leading rushers. Josh Gordon, 2 catches, 87 yards, and a touchdown. Taylor Gabriel and Terrell Pryor, all your leading receivers. Your leading defensive players, Demario Davis, Ibrahim Campbell, Justin Tuggle. Didn't even know he played for the Browns. But those were your leading tacklers this day, 2016. I texted Riz this morning. Browns released Carlton Mitchell this day 2013. Do you know about the Carlton Mitchell rant with Riz? Like, it was about this time of the year. And, like, everybody was talking about these guys and, like, oh, man, we're going to turn it around. And this guy. And Riz just went off about Carlton Mitchell, which happened this day 2013. Do you remember? Do you remember when the Indians had to bring Jim Thome back? And they pretty much admitted that jersey and ticket sales were the motivation. We traded for Jim Thome to come back this day 2011. We traded him for $20,000. And the report came out it was jersey and ticket sales. That's how down the Indians were in 2011, that they had to bring back Jim Thome just to try to make some money on jersey and ticket sales. Not there anymore. Thank God. We got John Kenzie Noel now. Yeah, take that. Here we go. This day, 1968. You know where I'm at with the Beatles, but they released Hey Jude this day, 1968.
It's a good song.
Yeah, I guess. If you want to look at it that way. This day, 1939, the first ever MLB game was televised. NBC broadcast the doubleheader between the Brooklyn Dodgers and the Cincinnati Reds. Oh. This day, or were they Cincinnati Reds in 1939?
No idea.
I have no idea, but it was the first game. This day, 1939. All right, I'm going to see if there's any movies for today because I don't really have too many. I've got birthdays for you. Let's run through those quick. David Price, James Harden, Melissa McCarthy, Macaulay Culkin, Chris Pine, and John Mulaney. Yeah. All celebrating birthdays today. It's Mother Teresa's birthday today as well. I should probably add her to the list. Mother Teresa. Scroll through, see what else we got. John Mulaney. All these people are people I've never heard of in my life.
Never heard of John Mulaney?
No. Like, I'm looking at this other list. Oh. Like, TikTok star, Connor Eats Pants, Twitch star.
Connor Eats Pants.
Do you know who that is?
Nope.
Do you know who Little Chris is?
Nope.
Pop singer?
Nope.
All right. Entertainment? All right, I guess I kind of got one for you. I don't think you're going to get it, though. It's a television show that debuted this day, 1996.
Okay.
It was an American drama series surrounding one family.
Okay.
Premise. It follows Reverend Eric Camden, a Protestant minister living in the fictional town of Glen Oak, California, and his wife Annie as they deal with the drama of raising their 7 children, ages ranging from babies to adults with families of their own. The Camden family.
Never heard of it.
Seventh Heaven?
Seventh Heaven, I've heard of that. Okay.
Jessica Biel. I guess that was our introduction to her. I don't know. I don't really know anybody else. Never watched. I know it's pretty big, but Seventh Heaven. Today's International Dog Day. Shout your dog out.
Shout out Ruby. Love her to death.
Alvin, my dog. He's the best. He's the absolute best. So, even though I forgot his birthday.
Yeah, you did.
But it was a Scotchy Day. It's International Dog Day, so there you go. All right, let's get to it. Guards! Let's go. What else were we going to do? We got to do the bracket.
Yeah, what are we doing for the bracket?
I had a couple ideas swirling. Because we've done a lot of movies lately. I'd like to do something food-related. My belly was sticking out. I sit over, I hunch over. It gets all balled up there. So we've done a lot of movies. I'd like to do a food, like something off the cuff of that. What's going on in the world? That's what I'm saying. I don't know. College football is starting. There's like really nothing going on in the world, man. Trending? What's trending right now? National Dog Day is trending.
Mm-hmm.
Monday Motivation.
Need that.
Cooper Flagg signed a massive deal with New Balance.
White boy.
Juju Smith-Schuster, Kansas City. Kadarius Toney is trending. Ubisoft. I mean, there's a lot going on with games.
Yeah.
Because GameCon going on. Want to hold off for tomorrow? If we don't have a good one to rip?
We can think about it today.
Yeah, we'll think about it today. We'll get something going there. All right, let's go. Guardians doubleheader today. Like you said, Kansas City is favored in both. I've got 8.5 for each of these games. So, again, I think the tough thing is going to be, I mean, these trends will work for both. Okay?
Nice. Noah.
What?
Noah Weiskopf. Help is on the way. Conklin has passed his physical and is set to be activated.
Nice. Does he have that?
A good chance of playing for the Browns week 1 against Dallas.
Oh, no, that came out for me and Rappaport. All right, good. Conklin ready to go. Do you slide DeJuan Jones to left?
Or do you
Slide Conklin?
I'd rather slide Conklin.
Or Jones to left tackle?
Conklin.
I think Conklin. I'm with you. All right, that's big news. That's big news there. Oh, we get to our Guardians playing side. That's big news. Conklin's past his physical. He's coming off the pup. All right. Yeah, I think you slide Conklin over, don't you?
I agree.
And the nice thing is if he comes off the pup now, then he could be ready to go. Like, get a couple of weeks of practice and then get him back over there. Mary Kate, Greg Newsome's going to be activated off their injury list. He had that dancing gift today. All right, that's big help, man. That's some big help there. So, again, Conklin and Newsome both getting activated. That's pretty big. All right, good. That's good news for the Browns. Get ready to go for the week. All right, back to the Guardians for their play today. Again, it's going to be a bullpen game today for Sandlin. You got Cole Ragans on the hill, 10-8, 3.3 ERA. He's 2-1 in his last 3 starts. Ryan, he's got 9, 8, and 7 strikeouts in his last 3 starts. You want a free bet for today? Cole Ragans, 6 or more strikeouts.
You're saying it's free? It's not going to happen.
Probably not. He's only given up 6 earned runs over his last 3 starts, but 4 of them came in his last outing. He's going 5-7 and 6 1/3 innings. When we faced him back in June, we got after him. Got 5 runs on him in 4 2/3, but he did strike out 6 going back to June. And then again, what are you going to read into with Nick Sandlin? Here's your trends starting. I don't have any trends. What do you mean there's no trends to report? Come on, man. Give me something here. All right, let me look at Kansas City's last 10 games. Dude, is OddsShark not getting updated for some reason? What's going on? It's usually where I like to go to. They've got no information for me. All right, real quick. Kansas City, last couple games. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Phillies. They gave up 11 runs in each of their last 2 games to the Phillies. They scored 7 prior to that. I know. They had that nice long win streak when they beat up on the Reds and the Angels a little bit. All right, what do you want to do? All right, I like Reagan's 5 strikeouts.
Okay.
Can you give me a hit for this game? Do you want to take over/under? I really like. My gut says take the under, but that's probably wrong because it's the bullpen game. Unfortunately, the Guardians might struggle here in game 1. All right, strikeouts. Cole Ragans is minus 450 to get 5. There's almost no point in doing it, but I'm going to use it for a boost. Do you want to do Quan hit? Ramirez hit? Or Jimenez hit?
Quan.
So that gets me to minus 145. And then if I take... Do you like the over or the under? 8.5. Over would give me to plus 240.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah, I do.
All right, do that. It's a bullpen game, so we'll do that. I'll boost that up. $5 wins me. We got to do more than that. Come on now. $10 wins me $40. There you go. Get Ben for that. Guardians just split for today. That's all I ask. We'll get back on it tomorrow. Taking on the Royals on the doubleheader today. So appreciate everybody joining us. Don't forget tonight, Hanford, Big Play Cleveland show, and come get some. Get to our golf outing, bigplay.com. We'll see you there on Saturday. Big news for the Browns, and we're back at it tomorrow, 9 a.m. Same time, same place. For Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.